Hey folks, today we're doing a viewer requested video on the box.gg marketplace. A lot of people have asked me to do this video and talk about my strategies for using the marketplace, so that's what we're doing today. I'm going to give you my tips and tricks. Now, before we get too far into the tips and tricks, I just want to let you know in the next several videos I'll be giving away a holographic Dark Charizard slab, so make sure you've subscribed and that you also watch out for that giveaway in a future video. What is Marketplace? Well, it's a place where you can trade in the cards you have in your inventory for actual graded slab cards. As you can see here, there's a bunch of different TCGs on here. Everything from sports, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, all kinds of stuff. And the first obvious thing you want to do is, well, set your filters for the types of cards you want to be looking for. And if you want to help the channel out, feel free to use code DRANCARDS on box.gg. It does help the channel out quite a bit. The other thing you want to take note of here is the available budget you have in your inventory. So I don't have very many cards in my inventory right now because I tend to slab out pretty fast. But if you save your pulls over several days or weeks, you can build up a pretty good budget here to get some pretty good slabs. One thing you can do is you can turn on the Enough Gems to Buy feature, which will only show you the cards that you can afford given what you have. You can also search for specific items or specific item categories. I'm a big first edition holographic collector, so let's plug that in. Don't forget also that there's other filters you can use, like if you're looking for a specific brand of slab, like PSA, you have a filter for that. Specific grades you want to target, you can search for that too down here. Now that we have all the basic stuff out of the way, I want to show you another trick that's helpful too. So right now I only have about $34 worth of value in my inventory, so obviously I want to save up some more so that I can get a better slab. Like I said, I like to target first edition holographic cards, so if I plug something into the max value here, let's say 25,000 gems, it's only going to show me cards that are within that price range. This can be helpful if there's a specific ceiling you're looking to target. It also helps to get rid of some overpriced cards. So for the next big tip, the thing that you really want to do every time you go on Marketplace, it takes a little explaining to understand why you want to do this. So the Marketplace is basically Fanatics Collect. And if you aren't familiar with Fanatics, they charge a pretty high buyer's premium on their cards. And since it is a marketplace, the prices are set by individuals, not by Boxed or not by Fanatics. So what that means is there's a lot of overpriced cards on Marketplace. You want to try to avoid these. There's a couple ways you can do that. The first is obvious. You can turn on the best value feature here. And this is going to show you what Boxed/Fanatics thinks are the best value cards. As you can see, there's some pretty decent cards in here, like a holographic Moltres. That's a pretty good card. I can either do CGC or PSA. But one thing to watch out for is Fanatics Collect is not perfect. Sometimes listings can be deceptive. So like this Ivysaur here, that's obviously not a holographic card for anybody who knows anything about base set. That is an uncommon. How this got listed as holographic on Fanatics, I have no idea, but that's just something to watch out for. If a card seems fishy, look it up. I believe Fanatics actually uses card ladder for value, so that can be wrong sometimes. I recommend you use another pricing tool of your choice to actually look up a specific card that you're interested in. In my case, I like to use Collector. So with Collector, TCG Player, any of the other ones out there, you can actually price check the cards that you're looking at. But I'm going to give you kind of a bonus tip here too, of something I like to do. I make a short list of cards that I'm interested in. How you can do that is you just add them to your cart. So, for example, here I'm interested in checking the price on both of the Moltres, maybe the Lapras too. I'll add these to my cart. When I add them to my cart like this, I'm not necessarily buying them. I'm just making myself a short list. So when I click View Cart, I can go in here and have a list of cards I want to look up. So now if I look up at the Moltres, I can actually pull up graded prices on this in Collector and see how fair of a price this is. So I have to do some scrolling over here in Collector to actually get to the PSA first edition price. But right now that card's going for $230. 20,000 gems are about $200. That's actually a really good deal, good card to pick up. And I can check the CGC one while I'm in here too. So a CGC 8 is going for $114. That one's not a very good deal. Now, I'm not going to check the Lapras, but you kind of get the basic idea here. Double check your prices and make sure what you're getting is a good deal. I'll say that if price doesn't matter that much to you, get the cards that you want for your collection, either way. And whatever I don't want, I just remove from my cart. And if I had the inventory right now, I'd actually go through and purchase this, but I don't, so Got to save up some more gems. But I think the Moltre situation also is a good illustration of what to watch out for on Marketplace. So someone had this first edition PSA priced at about $200, but I guess someone else saw the listing and then decided, I'm just going to make my CGC Moltres the same price, even though obviously if we look at the price here for CGC 8s, they're a lot lower than PSA. So just another good illustration of Marketplace is in fact a marketplace with people. Sometimes there's great deals and sometimes there's awful deals. You just have to look for them. So we'll finish up here with some advantages and disadvantages of using Marketplace unboxed. Well, what are the advantages? Well, number one, you can get graded cards. Slabs generally cost more than a raw card because it does cost money to grade them. In lower grades, you can actually find slabs that are cheaper than the raw card. This is especially great for vintage Pokemon or vintage anything. If you just want a copy of a specific card for your collection, it's a good way to get that card at a lower price. The other advantage of Marketplace is the shipping is a lot faster. Generally speaking, it's about half as long as shipping a raw card. Shipping times can vary quite a bit, but almost always every slab that I've gotten has came faster than raw ones I've done in the past. And you've probably seen on the channel before, I'm mostly a slab collector now. I like to collect vintage stuff because I have pretty much all the modern that I want. And the market sucks right now, so I don't really want to overpay for modern cards when I could be getting cool vintage stuff. Just my perspective, every collector's different. And for me, the last advantage for Marketplace is going to be the fun factor. I like the hunt of, looking for a good deal on an old vintage card or something that I don't have for my collection yet. That's always a blast for me. And, I guess a final tip that I'll include in the advantages here is just be patient with Marketplace. You don't have to slab out immediately after opening up some boxes. You can wait around and hoard your inventory and build up to a really nice card or wait for a really good deal to pop up. So I check Marketplace usually, 1 or 2 times a day just to see if there's something good on there that I want. So let's talk about disadvantages over raw cards. So I think the biggest disadvantage for Marketplace is obviously going to be the markup and the buyer's premium that Fanatics puts on the cards on here. It makes it harder to find a good deal, even though they are out there. And I've found sometimes looking for specific modern cards in high grades that they can be pretty overpriced on here. It just depends on how the market is and how many cards people put up on Fanatics. For example, if I pulled a Moonbryon unboxed and I tried to find a graded copy on here, it's probably going to be pretty overpriced on the Marketplace. I'm probably better off just to withdraw the raw Moonbryon and maybe even grade it myself. I think this is a great example here. If you look at this PSA 9 Moonbryon, they've got it listed for almost $5,000, so that's obviously some random seller trying to be greedy and capitalize on the Moonbryon hype. There's a CGC Pristine 10 on here for $8,000. Now I also know, just looking at my collection here, you can see the Moonbryon is about $3,600, so these are way overpriced. And the other disadvantage, I think, is just having to have the patience to, search the Marketplace and find a good deal for the specific cards that you're looking for. You're not going to have that instant gratification of, pulling a card, withdrawing it, and then getting it in a couple weeks. A big advantage for me is just the ability to consolidate a bunch of cards together into one high value card. Well folks, that pretty much sums up my quick overview of the Box.gg Marketplace. I think it's a pretty great feature. I use it all the time, and I haven't actually withdrawn many raw cards in the last year, almost 2 years now, just because I love this feature so much. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, leave me a comment, drop a like on the video. Make sure you don't miss that giveaway, and thanks so much for watching, folks.